Hi, we're at the Green Garage today. It's September 16th. We're in the middle of the, deconstruction project. And let's see if we can find that dumpster. Okay. Well, let's look at the truck well. It's not there. In the parking lot. No dumpster. Garage. Perfect spot right here for the dumpster, but no dumpster. Two shoes. Come on, down the alley. Yeah, no dumpster. No dumpster. Okay. Okay, our neighbor across the street is the Sheridans with the barking dog. There we go. And they have a dumpster down there. So you would think that we might have dumpster envy, but we don't. So you're probably wondering, how can you do deconstruction without the obligatory dumpster that's going to go to the landfill? Well, come on in. Let me show you. So the real thing here is that our phase, which we actually use with the language, is not using demolition but deconstruction. Our goal is to reuse 90% of the non-toxic materials from the existing Green Garage, and our first phase of the project was the deconstruction of all the office space that was in the front. And the point is, if you can see that all of this was office throughout this area. And now what we've got is we're taking that material, deconstructing it without damaging it with some very high-skilled workers, and then converting that into material that we'll reuse. Let me show you some of that material. So the material comes down and it looks like this. It looks a little bit haphazard. It's got some nails in it, but it's still in pretty darn good condition. So it goes from up on the wall down to here. Eduardo and Elisa were able to pull that down, and then let me show you where we go from here. So here we've got, how does the magic happen where we get this deconstructed boards and then we're going to convert it into material to be used? Well, you won't quite recognize this guy, but this is Tom O'Connor, and he is the head of our Sustainable Materials Management at the Green Garage. And Tom, tell us kind of what the system is here, what you do.
Well, with various sophisticated tools such as the hammer, pliers, wood, and brute force, removing the nails, spikes, and other fasteners from the wood to make it safe to handle, moving it into the annex to make it ready for the next usage here in the Green Garage.
Right, so it's going from this pile to this table, the nails are getting out, and then it ends up over there.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so let's take a look at that. Here's a pile of the drywall. This would typically be one of the first things that would end up in the dumpster, but we're going to actually use this as our first layer of drywall on the wall, and it has a very high thermal mass to it, can store a lot of energy, and then we're going to just do a thin finish coat on the walls. So this is being stacked here, obviously very heavy, but it's going to be reused on the walls. I just wanted to point out, what does the waste now from this no waste look like? And this is a good example of what we've got left. We want to take a magnet and go through this and pull out all the metals, but it's going to look something like this. What we have left, we don't know. We'll get together as a group and talk about if anything can be done with this. We're a bit concerned about putting it in the ground and it getting into the water table if it's got anything on it. But that's kind of where this kind of ends up at the end of the day. So this is some of the finished lumber that Tom has taken the nails out of. You can see it looks really in great shape. It's remarkable. All this would have ended up in a landfill, and we have got some great pieces of 8, 10, foot 2x4s to be used in the project. Okay, so the thing is we're taking that wood down, right? We're removing the nails, we're putting it into piles, but then how are we going to use it from there? So just this week, we went out and David Patrice, whose father owned this building originally, has graciously lended us some pallet shelving to store the wood on. Come here closer, you can see Tom and his materials management. You can see on each of the ends of these boards, he has written the length of these boards on here. So when people go to rebuild, look at this. And you need a piece of wood of a certain length, instead of cutting it, you'll come right in here. Here's the 3 footers all together. There's the 2 footers. He's got the 6 footers, the 7 footers, the 8 footers. So this is the management. It's going to take us a little bit of extra time to do this, but this is the management that is required to be able to pull this together and make it successful. And I believe that the effective management of materials is going to really transform the building site and allow us to reuse materials and use materials from other sources. Thanks for listening, and we'll keep you updated on the materials management story here at the Green Garage as it unfolds.